Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the NORA broadcast booth. We are back for duel number two. It's the second time tonight that we're going to roll off for some more old fashioned racing. And it's going to be another fun race, I hope. Uh, Joined once again by Josh Susi, but we are now adding in Jake Boyer. Jake, you qualified on pole and you ran that last duel. You got any bit of knowledge out of that duel for this one?
I really wish I could say that I knew anything at this point. I mean, my main objective was just to keep the car clean, keep all four corners on it, and be able to start on the pole for the 500 for next week. So I really wanted to push it. I really wanted to see what the car would do in traffic, but it just wasn't worth it at the same time.
So just
Absolutely.
another last minute update like we had in the last session. Mark McFadden is actually going for driver's points. His name wasn't changed in time. So even though he has an O there, he is locked in. We will have two drivers not making it based on finishing position here. So keep an eye out for that. We got 12 owners points, not counting Mark. 10 of them are going to make it.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a good old fashioned slobber knocker, maybe. It's going to be a fun one. You see the starting lineup going across the top of the board. And I believe it looked like, I know we weren't sure what happened with some of the guys in the first race on their decisions, but it definitely looked like the one car who was scheduled to start in thirds is starting from the pits.
Well, he doesn't have anything to lose. And I'm going to take back what I said at the end of the last race. I think there's more pressure in this one with there being so many owners points guys versus not being like in the last race.
And as we found out, Keegan Bitzer, who we said was first guy out, he's technically not out just yet. If the two worst finishing positions in this race finished behind where he finished and didn't put in a time, he still gets in. But either way, we are green for Duel 2 here today for the NORA Daytona race. And
We do know from the last race they're going to be somewhere pit window 18 to 22, and they can make it the rest of the way.
absolutely, that outside line did not go at all. I mean, that was, dare I say, horrendous start.
Or was it strategy?
Or was it strategy? It very well could have been. But I know for a fact that thing did not go. So, but
One car missed the grid, like you said, but hey, at least he's locked in. He's going to ride around, hopefully not get lapped, but even if he does, well, that's what it is.
absolutely. So I believe right now we're looking at Alex Brown being out of the race and Blade Timmons being the last two. So two guys are going to go home now. Whether or not they go home or they still make it in, that's dependent on quite a few different factors, and we will look over more of them once we get to the end of the race so that we can be 100% sure about any of the false lies that we are speaking. but as it stands right now, the fact of the matter is that Brian Powell is leading this race with Josh Conover running in second.
And I don't think you're going to see Conover looking to make a move anytime soon.
No, I can't. I can't see it happening. I think he's just going to be happy to and content to ride right there in second place, push his buddy to hopefully his dual win, and he himself lock himself in for next week.
Just looking at the caliber of the drivers we have in here too, I want to say this race might be a lot less aggressive just because of who's actually in here, but we could be wrong.
Absolutely, and certainly, I think a lot of us probably have the mindset, not just uh, us as broadcasters, but uh, the guys watching the race and everything. Quite a few people, said they expected a caution by lap 5 in that last race, and well, we didn't get it till really late. So certainly, Daytona shows anything can happen. Continues to lead BP out in front, Josh Conover in second. But they are getting a small challenge forming on that outside line with Jacob Weaver and Payne Faust pushing him. We'll see if anything can happen up here at the front. And we just kind of look out at the back, and you can see everybody back elsewhere, single file, the 16 and the 1, all by themselves way in the back. So,
Yeah, they're in trouble.
absolutely.
Guys,
The
one thing
16
I
for
did
sure.
notice was that the biggest mover of this race so far is that 55 on the outside of Alex Edelman. He started 16th on this grid, and he has already moved his way up to 7th.
Absolutely. So he's being aggressive. He wants to get towards the front. Maybe, as a guy running to try to lock himself in, maybe you want to get far enough up in front because, like we said, I think we're taking 10 guys, 9 guys, something like
Yes,
that.
that's correct.
Okay, 10. Yep. So that's a lot of guys. The further up you put yourself, the better position you certainly are in. The problem is that he's now battling on the outside, and when you're double file, you are in a much larger risk of wrecking the car than when you're single file.
Well, and one good news is, well, not for Tyson, but for the rest of the guys, it looks like I don't think he's actually in here. So that's one less spot they have to worry about losing to make the show.
Absolutely. So, just to note a little bit about how somebody might go about making the field. It will, if you're on the outside looking in, it will go off of the time that you set in qualifying. If no time was set by any of the drivers that didn't make it their way in, then it will go off of the highest finishing position. So if we move to that scenario, the driver that qualifies in last in this one would have to finish 12th.
And there's 2 of those spots available.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be starting 39th and 40th next week for the 500.
Absolutely. So this is where it gets really intriguing. And while I was going on about that, we actually had Fast for the lead quite a bit a while ago. I think BP actually fell out. He decided to go towards the back a little bit, maybe save the car. Um, but it is now Blade Timmons in that U.S. Army Ford Mustang leading the field with Alex Edelman in second. So the biggest mover
You can't
continues
worry
to move.
about making it on finish. Right now, you just got to worry about making it
Mm-hmm.
by making it. Not about, hey, I finished 18th, I missed the cut, do I make the field? That's not on your mind right now.
Nope.
Just try to finish as good as you can.
Absolutely. The only people that thinking that are the guys that finished that first duel already. They're the only ones that can be concerned with anything that's going on with anybody where they're running, where they finish. These guys, that can't be in your mind. That's something you can worry about after the races. Jacob Weaver is slideways
He's
a
got a
little bit.
handful.
Yeah.
He might have got a little damage on that 00. I don't know if they touched or not.
I'm not sure. It's not really looking like it. Well, maybe a little bit of front damage on that 00. Not really seeing any on the left side of the 7.
We did talk about it last race, how iRacing changed the setups. They're a little wonky if you didn't dial in your steering. You're seeing guys struggle with it right now, holding it straight, going down the backstretch and front stretch.
Absolutely. And Payne Faust got around to the lead, but Blaine Timmons not going to be set to run in second. This is the thing that we did worry about could happen with these guys. Just start getting aggressive, and all of a sudden we might see a wreck. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a higher probability when you start getting aggressive.
You just got to ask yourself, is it worth it? We're on lap 10 of 36. You know what's on the line.
Absolutely, and you know that you've got to make a pit stop. We're not on a full tank. If you watch the first duel, which we think that a lot of the guys did, they know. We're looking at about 18 to 20. Certainly, being in that second duel has an advantage of being able to watch that first duel and learn a few things. Certainly, I'm not sure anybody knew what the fuel range was going into that first duel, and just kind of
We
played it by
certainly didn't.
wire. No, we did not, but now we do. So certainly, those are the kind of advantages that you have of being in the second duel.
We're going to need a heat race before every race each week so we know what the fuel window is.
I like it. I'm all for it. Let's just have qualifying races every week. God, that would get old fast. Oh, that 7 car, every corner, that car is sideways coming off.
Yeah, I don't know if he has too much slack in his steering or maybe his ratio's down too far, but he's he's almost caused a couple issues. I'm getting a little worried.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It seems like maybe they might want to single file out here and just ride for a bit. We'll see if that changes. I could be dead wrong, and they could decide that we don't want to do that. But certainly a lot safer, as the back of the field is also running single file, and they're not catching the front guys. And it's once again that moment of you got about 6 or 7 cars. They got a lot more than that, but once you have about 6 or 7 cars, you want to be double file, and they're just not doing it to try to catch these guys.
We see a big push here from Conover, and looks like Brian Jones. They decided not to ride in the back of this pack anymore. They jumped to the second line. They got a whole head of momentum going right now.
Absolutely, and you're going to get that when you're in these packs. You're the top line. You're the only guys up there. I have seen some incredible moves with this exact type of thing. I've seen it work in a 3 wide situation, watching 2 guys go straight to the front. It's a thing of beauty when it's done right, and these guys are coming to the front of this pack. And if they can do it right, and you can see they're now starting to think about maybe let's get double file. I think we can catch these guys in front of us as the leaders get double file as well.
Well, we'll see where they're running here this time by. But a lap and a half ago, they were running 14th and 15th.
They definitely look to be a lot higher up than that. I believe they're running 7th and 9th.
That is correct. So they pretty much chopped their distance to the leader in half and just a lap and a half pushing on that outside.
And really, Josh isn't pushing him that hard. I mean, yeah, he's a lot closer than some of the guys on the inside line are to one another, but he wasn't really on his bumper, which allowed him to be behind him for a lot longer. And he's actually going to shove him right up into this front pack. And this front pack just got 3 cars bigger because the 29 joined the fray up here.
I think you might see them settle in right here where they are. They probably didn't want to be at the very back coming up to this pit stop. And that leads me into my question for you, Jake. I know you're riding in the backpack of 4 cars that last heat race, but what were you thinking
Oh,
as
the
far
7
as,
is off the track.
oh
Just a
boy,
second.
pit
He was
strategy coming up to
save
your
it.
pit window?
Basically, with the pit strategy that I had, I was just going to kind of wait till see what some of my teammates were going to do. Just kind of, I decided to stay out 1 extra lap from whenever they pitted. I knew I really wasn't going to be coming out with anybody, just kind of coming out of my own, trying to stay safe. But really thought about taking that extra pit stop there with that green white checker. Just kind of wanted to go back to the tail again, just to kind of be safe. But got fortunate with the lucky dog and put me back there anyway.
Absolutely.
Now, I do believe the 7 car is going to have a penalty. And where he didn't get any help, we're not going to clear that, as we do see him pitting right here. He caught the double yellow line going through travel, got loose, and unfortunately hit pit exit before the cone, and that is a pass through.
Absolutely, and that's certainly not a thing that you want to see. I believe he has to race his way in.
He does. Now, Alex has been probably biting his nails this whole run, missing the draft at the beginning, but now he's going to leapfrog Jacob, so that could be a small mercy for him.
Absolutely, and boy, the 55 just cleared across Payne Faust's nose with not much room to spare. That could have been a possible net code, but it isn't. As we do see our first couple pit stops, it's going to be Brian Jones and Josh Conover being the only 2 down, and I don't know that Josh got on pit road safely? I just don't know.
Ooh, he hit that line about 80 miles an hour. I'm not thinking he's going to be able to escape that one.
Absolutely. If you can keep it updated on that, and I'll keep us focused on the field. As Blade Timmons continues to lead, we'll see if we've got any more of the guys that are going to come around here.
Yeah, he's still in his box. I think he got a hold for speeding. That's
Mm-hmm.
going to hurt. And now the 7 car, but he's still on pit road too. So it might be a race between these two.
And what hurts even more though too is for the 37, who I believe made it onto pit road safely, but now he's going to be all by himself.
Correct. He is, but he does have the advantage of being in front of those two that have had issues so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is the key. You want to be in front of those guys for sure.
I don't know if they made a last-second decision to pit or what happened to him, but it definitely did not play out in Conover's favor.
Now, the advantage that Conover has is he has a lap in as everybody's coming to pit road, and Blade Timmons gets a little bit of a shot in the back. I'm not sure he's going to get down in time or safely.
Oh, 94!
As the 94 goes around, the 92 is dead stop. That's going to hurt both of them.
Luckily, they're both locked in, but yeah, that's not going to help.
Nope, and Blade Timmons definitely got a shot in the rear. I don't know if he's made it down speed wise. Chad Engel in the 91 looked to have slid through his box, and it does look like Blade made it through no issue. Big jump from Cody Redder, getting out in second out of that group, right behind Blade Timmons. And Payne Faust really getting the benefit there. He was out long before any of those guys.
He actually missed his pit box.
Oh, did he? So he didn't pit.
He did.
So that explains that. He pitted, but he didn't pit. And what I was saying as we were watching everybody come to pit road, the advantage that Conover currently has is that Jacob Weaver's 2 laps down, whereas Josh is just 1. So it's certainly a large advantage that he has. And Alex Brown and Donald Etcher, I believe, still haven't pit yet. But they are your current leaders. Martin Plute coming out, Shane Weinmiller, Jason Brewer. But here comes that group of Cody Reeder and Blade Timmons. Let's see if they can get to Martin. I believe that's going to be the battle for the lead. I think Martin is going to have some help in the form of lap down driver Josh Conover. As that one,
These pit stops have definitely changed everything.
Absolutely, I'm completely shocked in the way that they played out. And here comes.
Payne Faust just wrecked off the apron solo.
Ooh.
He is locked in, thankfully, but ouch.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I mean, good on
I
him
know
that he
from
was able to
experience,
keep
your
it down
third
there.
gear right there hammering down, that's high RPMs. If your tires are hot, you can definitely very easily overcorrect it, as he took a toe to pit road.
Absolutely, but he did manage to keep it safe, and this is where it's getting to crunch time, you know. Like we said,
Alex Brown, Donald Etcher on pit road safely.
It's down to 16 to go. I think Martin and Josh are going to inherit the lead.
Well, Josh is lap down.
Well, but he is pushing essentially.
That is correct. As long as he stays where he's at, he's sitting good. Mm-hmm. Jacob Weaver is 2 laps down, several cars behind him.
Absolutely. So we'll see. And it's going to be a big key here too on certain things, you know, like who put down a time and all that. That'll play into effect after the race. But certainly this is where Josh wants to be, because this has got him locked in. But Jacob Weaver is coming up. He's going to try to get one of his lap backs, but again, this is the problem now, and this is the advantage that Josh has, is that he's a lap ahead of him.
Yeah, Jacob doesn't have a choice. He needs to get in front of the leader and pray for caution.
Mm-hmm.
That is his only avenue of trying to make something happen right now. Unfortunately, even if that does happen,
Conover would still get
Conover's
paid.
going to get the lucky dog.
Absolutely, but then he'd only be a lap down, and that'd be what he's hoping for. And Conover's now looking like he's going to try and get around Martin and get his lap back the old-fashioned way. Well, that would certainly help out Weaver a little bit.
He pushed Ploop for quite a while. He might have got hot.
And that is also another possibility. Got to get that engine cooled back down. He is going to, at least for the moment, take the lead lap position back, essentially, be the last car on the lead lap. But obviously, that inside line is going to be the quicker way around through the corners.
So we got 5 cars battling here in the lead pack. 2 are a lap down. And then you got the next 4 single file trying to run them down. They're a little over a second and a half back. They can form up, get good pushes. They might be able to catch that draft.
Absolutely. And then we got a third little pack of 3 cars. And then we've just got a bunch of guys all by themselves. So, actually, no. Just not really nobody by themselves. Just one car, I think,
Like
all by himself.
Danielson's by himself. And then you got Brown and Etcher running together.
So
I think that second pack, they're down to 1.2 seconds. They should definitely be getting a tow, I believe, right now.
Absolutely, and you got to think somebody that we were a little concerned about after Josh sped onto pit road was Brian Jones in that 37, but he managed to group up. He's on that back group of that second pack there.
Yeah, I think he got lucky as far as everyone else either having issues or pitting relatively within a couple of laps. The only time you're really going to get in trouble if you pit like that is if they stay out another 4 or 5 laps because they're going to be running at top speed for that much longer.
Absolutely. So it worked out in his advantage. Josh is going to try and clear himself down, but he doesn't have it.
3 wide.
And now we are 3 wide. 2 of them are for the lead. As Weaver's in the wall behind him. So now Blade has no help on that outside. And look who's here. That second pack has formed up to make just one nice big pack.
Is he gonna? He's gonna lift. Oh, I thought maybe he was gonna put it in the middle.
He thought better of it, lifted, and said, "Let's just ride for a little bit. We got time. We got nothing but time." As I believe I just saw that Corey Danielson was on pit road. Maybe no. I don't know what I saw.
I think he's throughputting right now. His quality's down.
Oh,
That's a tough break. He's an owner driver.
That is a tough break. I think
Jake Weaver's chance if Corey can't get back in here quick enough.
Absolutely. I think that could put Jacob Weaver into the race at this moment.
From hero to zero back to hero. Tugging at your heartstrings.
So it's just 10 laps to go, and it's certainly been, you could say, a more tamer race after the pit stops. I think that first race, they started getting a little wild once they all got grouped back up.
And he had a lot more guys locked in the first one, too. They didn't have anything to lose.
That is true.
Corey Danielson is now behind Weaver in the standings. That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see for Corey there. Certainly as an owner driver, he needed to really put in a good run and try to get in the hard way, because I don't know if he put down a time in qualifying.
I hope he did, because if not, we know they had at least finished 12th for one spot. I don't know what the other spot was. But he's definitely going to finish 15th, maybe even 16th if Brian is still running, which he is.
Absolutely. So let me see if I can't find a sheet real quick, and let's find out. Corey Danielson did put down a time. So,
Well, at least he has that mulligan to lock back on.
absolutely, but an issue that I'm thinking I'm seeing, possibly.
I asked Conover about Duel 1, and I think he said everyone that didn't make it did not put down a time. So that should leapfrog Corey ahead of all of them.
Absolutely. What I'm trying to find is if Plumquist put in a time, and I'm not seeing it. Plumquist.
I don't believe he did.
So that's a problem for him, not being able to
Absolutely.
race. That would eliminate him, and I believe would give Keegan the last spot in.
Was he the first one out in the first duel?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yep. So as we're sitting right now, that would be Danielson and Keegan would be tail end Charlie of the 500. But hey, anyway they can get in, I'm sure they'll take it.
Absolutely, but we'll see how this finishes out with 7 laps to go. Things can change immensely. We know that.
Boys, I will say this: trying to figure out all this qualifying routine is making my head hurt.
And
we
there's
got one
the
going through the
wreck.
grass.
Oh, he did get a little bit of help. The 37 and the 55 came together, but they hold on. I'll try and remember that. That was 6 to go, so that would have been lap 30 something. And we'll try and see if we can't go back and get that after the race, but because there's no caution, we want to stick with the leaders here. As it is going to be Martin and Shane Weinmiller going to the front. Those two Penske numbered Chevys. My brain hurts looking at that. But yep.
Hey, those are my cars there.
I'm just saying they have Penske numbers on their Chevys. My brain hurts looking at it.
I went back and looked at it, and actually looks like Brian Jones scooted up a little bit, and we had some netcode between him and the 55, and that's what put them both down the infield.
Then that, I would assume, would not be a clearable black flag if we got one.
No, it was clearable. It was
Okay.
an accident.
Okay, fair enough.
It's only when they do it to themselves with no help, or if they speed on the pit road, that it's non-clearable.
10-4. Well,
Boys, I will say my Flatline Graphics racing teammates are looking strong right now, running 1, 2, and 5th.
absolutely. Certainly, there's some good cars up here, and they can definitely challenge really hard. But it is going to be Blaine Timmons looking to the outside, or Blade Timmons, my bad. And he's got some help from the 92. Tony Monge.
4 to go right now.
We
Count the
are.
lap we're on.
And we are going to have a lap car in front of these guys. It's going to be BP, Brian Powell. We'll see what happens here, as they're currently 3 wide. And that's certainly what you don't want to see with a lap car coming up. I think they're going to be able to slot back in and get double file. Yeah, they were able to get double file back again, which is definitely a big help there. So we're going to come to 3 to go this time. And obviously we know 3 attempts at the green white checkered. They got to get to that white flag before that goes away.
Well, these guys probably know they're all locked in. Let's see how crazy they get.
Yeah, I'd be concerned if I was Conover, because, anything could happen. But I think he's in the good, per se.
Oh, he'll be good. The 2 guys that are out right now neither one are in the server.
Yeah, so
they could all junk it up right now and theoretically still finish ahead of the other 2 unless they rejoin somehow, which I haven't seen yet.
And I don't think they have enough time to get enough laps to pass him. So we're going to come down with 2 to go now. And if there's going to be a caution and it happens this lap, we'll rack them up again and go again. But
I got faith. They're going to make it around.
I think they will. I think they've been holding pretty well. We'll see. Certainly,
I don't know if they'll make it around 2 more times, but they got at least 1 more in them.
They can make it to the white flag, we'll say. And it's going to be Tony.
Oh,
I'm pronouncing it right. Tony Monge getting to the
little door
lead.
going on.
Yep, a little bit of a door. They got about, maybe 600, 700 feet down to 500 if they make it back to line. This is where we
I
had
think
one
they'll make
last
it.
time.
We're looking good. We're looking
I think
good.
we're going to make it.
Oh, no!
Oh, they get a little bit of contact, but they do make it. The 12 is going to go around in front of the field, and there they go.
This just
Oh, there
became a
goes.
two-car race.
Yep, there goes the 6, the 20, and the 12. They all kind of cycle through, but certainly it's just two cars going to battle it out. And battle it out they're going to do, because I don't think there's any allegiance in either car.
I think Martin's going to push him down into 3 and then try to get to his right rear quarter. I know solo, one-on-one, you can side draft a guy, get to the right rear, and you can pull him to the line. I lost a race by .00 here doing that.
And here we go. This
Here
is
he
where it's
comes.
getting.
Oh,
Oh,
they
the net
touch!
code!
Oh,
The net code coming to the line. Martin's going to be able to get it back going straight again. The 92
Woo.
comes across the line, and I don't know who finished second. I really don't.
92 got second.
92
Barely.
got second, just barely. Martin gets. It was a net code, if I ever saw one. Certainly, I didn't think they were close enough to really make contact there, but you know, iRacing, and it loves to do that. If I can find the replay button.
I'm watching it live right now. Definitely netcode. 22 was trying to side draft a little, and predictive movement was not in his favor.
Yeah, that you gotta love good old fashioned net code. I'm surprised he managed to get that thing across the line in second. Go back and see if we can't watch on board Chad Engel's roof cam. If I can find it, hopefully. Yep. There we go. So we'll see what happens here. You can see him up in the front there. And there's the net code. And this is what it looks like from this second group. And it looks like Chad actually checked up, which allowed the 29 to get around him coming to the line. So let's actually see if we can't see what happened there now. So coming through 3 and 4. And he looks like he's maybe getting a little bit of a run there at the end. I'm pretty sure he had Conover behind him. And he just jumps out of line. I don't know that Chad actually did check up. I think 29 just got a heck of a run coming to the finish. So a great job by Martin Blute as your winner here today. Duel 1. Let's see. There we go.
All right, you ready for some interviews?
Absolutely. Let's bring them on up.
All right, I got third place. Cody coming on in. He's all yours.
Cody Reader, this is Nick Susi and Jake Boyer in the NORA broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, buddy, welcome. Welcome to the race. I'm not sure. I believe you did have to run your way in. You managed to run your way in, and it's third place finish. What happened there coming to the finish? You see cars wrecking. You get a big run on Chad. Walk us through that last corner.
Yeah, I had Josh give me a big push when I hopped on the outside, and I was staring in my mirror really the whole time, just trying to gauge where he was. And then when I looked in front of me, all I saw was smoke. I was thinking I might have a shot at it. That was kind of crazy, but I'll take third. It's awesome to at least make the race next week.
Absolutely, and that's what the important thing is, making the race. Certainly, that's what you want to do. And let Boyer and Susie, if you got anything for this man.
Well, you knew you had to race your way in, and numbers were on your side versus the last duel where we had, I think, 4 or 5 not make it. There's only going to be 2 of you tonight. You knew one guy didn't connect right away. So really, you only had to beat one other guy. Did that take a lot of pressure off, or were you still worried about it?
It did. I think that I was looking at the standings, and there was someone that needed to get in that was multiple laps down. So when I was coming about 3 or 2 to go, I was just like, well, whatever happens, happens. I think I'm in at this point. So I think everybody else knew kind of the same thing. That's why I got pretty aggressive there at the end. So definitely took the pressure off. But like I said, I'm just happy to get in.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
man. Congratulations. You think you're going to get third place out of that coming to white flag?
No. I there was a wreck that happened, and then I made some contact. I think it was with the 12 car coming to it's either 2 to go or maybe the white flag. I figured 6 or 7 is where I'd finish, but yeah, top 3. That's awesome.
Well, you're going to have a decent starting spot. I think sixth place or eighth, depending on. Brian Powell's going to start second. He qualified P2. So, yeah, that should put you P8. You happy with that starting spot? What are you thinking for the 500?
Yeah, it's good to have a good starting spot, a good pit selection, towards the front. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm bummed that one of my teammates didn't get in, but I've got one teammate in for the 500. It was nice just to run with some guys tonight, try to learn, try to build some trust with some guys, and I think we did that tonight. So it was nice to learn, and we'll come back for the 500 and give it a shot.
All righty, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Go celebrate, and we'll catch you next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll get Tony up here. P2, he's all yours.
All right. Tony, this is Josh Susi, Nick House, and Jake Boyer in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Well, you didn't get the win. It looked like from our vantage point that it was net code. What did it feel like to you managing to slide through the grass and get the second place?
Yeah, it was definitely that code. I knew we had some separation, myself and the 22, from the rest of the field, so I knew that he'd be able to back up the corner and get that run at me and just trying to do all I could to fend that off. But the runs were so huge tonight that there really wasn't much I could do. The old best overhead door NGK spark plugs Manji Motorsports Ford Mustang was pretty fast all night. We had a really solid race, kind of hung back with the teammates for a little bit and let the race kind of unfold, no cautions, which was super nice. And had a little incident with a teammate getting on the pit road, but aside from that, we bounced back and kind of able to carve our way up through the field with some help from teammates, and it was pretty solid overall race for us.
Absolutely, my man. A second place is nothing to hang your head about, and certainly, I believe you were already locked into the race by virtue of being a championship guy, so that's a big help. You'll roll off in sixth place. And any kind of change in your strategy, if there was any, from qualifying to the duel to now looking at the 500?
Yeah, I think a lot of strategy and riding around in the back and that sort of thing, and I think that could work to an extent. But man, the runs you get are so crazy in these cars, and I think the 500 next week is going to be even crazier. So you're going to want to protect yourself for a little bit, but I think getting up there and mixing it up is going to be key as well. So tonight was a great test to see what next week's going to be like, and hopefully we can end up one spot better in the 500 next week.
Absolutely, my guy. If there's anything that Josh or Jake have for you, but let them ask it now.
Got anything,
Yeah.
Jake?
Yeah, I actually do have one question, Tony. You were in the second duel. I was in the first. The first duel kind of, was kind of the same. It was double file most of the race. The beginning of this duel, it kind of panned out and got single file real quick. Did you feel that it was going to stay pretty calm, or did you know that near the end that things were going to really ramp up?
Well, and that's a great question. I think, it seemed pretty calm for most of the race. There was a couple hairy moments, but nothing, nothing that obviously would bring out a yellow. So really, I was kind of banking on it staying calm, especially after the incident on pit road and really trying to bounce back. But we got a little bit behind there, and I was kind of shocked that we caught the lead pack. To be totally honest, at that point, I was hoping things would get dicier. So did I expect it to stay calm? No, because it usually never does at Daytona. And, the way the finish kind of panned out with a couple of wrecked cars, third or fourth or whatever, it kind of turned into a 2-car drag race. So those are always interesting, and the leader usually never wins. So, I was kind of darned if I did, darned if I didn't with the blocking or whatever I could do. So But it panned out pretty good. We'll take the P2 and move on to next week with the 500.
Absolutely, man. Hey, great run. See you next Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks for putting on the broadcast.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and bring up Martin, our race winner. Martin, this is Nick Eilis, Josh Susie, and Jake Boyer in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yep, got you guys.
So, coming to the line, you're running P2. Did you think after the net code happened that you would manage to be able to get to the line first?
Well, we had a big gap. Honestly, I didn't know if it was netcode or not. I was going to slow down and let Tony just take it because that's not how I really want to win a race. But I'm glad to see it was netcode. But no, I think we had about a second and a half up on third, and I thought we had enough room. So yeah, if Tony kept it straight, he would have probably had it.
Absolutely. Well, either way, you did come home in first place as a driver that I believe had to lock himself in. You got that top spot, you're in the race, and you're rolling off fourth. So how does that feel, knowing all of that?
Yeah, it's good. Probably won't stay up front too long. It's not really what I do at plate tracks, but it's good to have a good pit stall. Gonna be easy to get out of being fourth at the end, so it's good. And knowing that I have a spot in the race, that's it's positive.
Absolutely. Anything from Jake or Josh?
Well, we know you usually work pretty well here with Conover and a couple others. You guys always work really well together. We saw you kind of drop back at the beginning of the duel, and then through the cycle of pit stops and everything, found your way up front. Is that the same strategy you're looking forward to the 500, or you want to keep track position the whole time?
Uh, I usually drop back, work with the people I trust to not turn me in the middle of the race. It worked last year in the 500, worked tonight. Um, really, I didn't plan on coming out nearly that far ahead. Just had a good pit stop, so it was good to get track position that way. But no, it's usually hang out towards the back of the field and then make a move towards the end.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Look forward to next week. I'm expecting big things. It's gonna be crazy with all y'all on the field at the same time. Good luck.
Thanks, Susie.
So I think I don't know if he would want to. If we could maybe pull Conover, and maybe he has or somebody that might have some clarification on who's in and who's out for sure.
I asked him in the admin channel. He agreed with me on Danielson getting in on time and Keegan Blitzer getting in on best finishing.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Danielson will get in on his qualifying time, and Keegan Bitzer is your last man in the race. He should roll off 40th, and that is how it finishes. I feel bad for anybody that misses the race. Obviously, I'm sure we'd love to be able to take everybody we can, but to keep with NASCAR rules, it's 40 cars, so 40 cars will start. And, that's going to be a fun race to watch, fun race to call. 1 week from tonight, 8:30 start time.
I do believe so.
Okay, so we'll probably be live around 8, maybe a little bit earlier, with it being the first race. Maybe get some pre-race interviews, some nice little graphics things that we could maybe try and do, just to get ready for an incredible race, an incredible season. And yeah, I think we had 2 great duels. One went caution free, the other one had, I think, 2 cautions. So it's pretty good duels, and maybe a bright spot showing what we could have in the 500. And we're going to keep calling it the 500, even though we're not running 500 miles.
Yes, sir. Biggest race of the year. Can't shorten that up. We're not the Xfinity Series.
Absolutely. So
I'm nervous, boys. I gotta lead all these guys to the green come next Wednesday.
You'll be
It's gonna be
fine.
fun.
Just go ahead and miss the grid. Make it interesting. You'll be fine.
Nah, if I wanted to start in the tail, I would have raced hard tonight.
Absolutely. So that, I think, is all she wrote from beautiful Daytona, Florida. And we will see you guys in a week for a more sunny version of this racetrack. This 500 is during the day. So it might be hot, might rain. We don't know. It is Florida. It's certainly not going to rain on iRacing, but it might be raining in real life. Who knows? Either way, I think that's going to do it for tonight completely. This has been Nick Geilis along with Josh Sushi and Susie and Jake Boyer for the NORA broadcast booth. Signing off. We'll see you guys in 1 week.